Hi guys, you're listening to Ebird Online and I'm here with another 90 Day Fiance special. So today I'm going to be talking you through Sasha's 13 red flags. So Sasha, who's from Russia, and Emily, who's from America, got together a couple of years ago and they've since had a lovely bouncing baby boy, baby David Alexander, but we'll call him baby Dave for short. So Emily and Sasha have literally just emigrated to America and things aren't exactly going well, but Emily should have seen this coming. So I'm now going to outline Sasha's 13 red flags. These are the 13 things that Emily should have seen before deciding to make a new life with Sasha. But before I begin, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, don't forget to like the video, and please follow me on Twitter at mbird99. A massive shout out to all of you that have subscribed already, and thanks for all your comments on my previous videos. As I've said to you, some of you are helping the eBird join the dots. Thank you so much. It's very much appreciated. So one of my first thoughts about Sasha was, how has he managed by the age of 32 to have 3 kids with 3 different women and to have been married twice and to be engaged to be married to somebody else? But I confused myself with the ridiculous assumption that he was only seeing one woman at a time, and once I'd relieved myself of that assumption, he managed to make it make sense. So the very first red flag I had with Sasha was that he called his ex-wives mistakes. Now regardless of whether you thought those marriages were good or not, it takes a certain type of man to call the mothers of his previous 2 children mistakes. A mistake is a blunder, an error, an oversight. How can blunders, errors and oversights result in dating for years, asking people to marry you, buying rings, getting married, deciding to have children, having those children, and then realising it's all a mistake? Sasha seems to only realise his mistakes at the same time he realises he fancies somebody else. And red flag number 2 is along the very same lines. He allowed Emily to call his ex-wives mistakes on TV when no doubt his sons would be able to see at a later point what they were being called. Now regardless of whether he considered them mistakes or not, most men wouldn't allow his new girlfriend, who hasn't even met any of the ex-wives and who's only met one of his other children, to tarnish them again with the word mistakes. Emily would do well to remember that usually somebody who makes mistakes learns from those mistakes. So even if they were mistakes, it seems as if he's falling into the same mistake all over again. And she actually went on to say he made mistakes and he married those mistakes. If something was a mistake and you got somebody pregnant and married them, that may happen once. To make a mistake once is pretty bad. To make a mistake twice is terrible. But to make it a 3rd time, Sasha, that's unforgivable. And let's not forget, people, Emily said, "We now have the perfect relationship." Emily, don't you think that that's been said by 2 other wives of Sasha previously until they realised they were then characterised as mistakes? Red flag number 3 was something I picked up on immediately, and if Emily had the brains she was born with, she would have done so too. And that was when they went to meet his first wife, Marcia, and before they were going to meet her, they were getting ready, and Sasha started saying, "Oh, I'm so worried about this." And Emily said, "Why?" And Sasha said, "Because she's mad, she's absolutely crazy. She's crazy." Now I usually find that when somebody characterises one of their exes as absolutely crazy, they're trying to set the scene so that if anything is revealed by this ex-wife that might be contrary to the narrative that Sasha's already given, he can say, "Yeah, that's because she's crazy, she's absolutely crazy." As it turned out, Marcia told us, the viewer, that Sasha cheated on her with his second wife, but fortunately for Emily, she was outside on another one of her dizzy spells when this information was revealed. I guess Marcia thought Emily would find out in her own good time, and probably sooner rather than later. Red flag number 4 concerns Sasha and his children. So Sasha was moaning to Emily, saying that he can only see his kids on holidays and that his ex-wives make it really difficult for him to have access. And when I first heard this, I thought, wow, that sounds really bad, because the worst thing I think that you could do to a child is not to let them see one of their parents. And it's a very difficult thing to navigate if there's been quite a messy breakup. And so we were treated to TLC following them round a toy shop, Sasha, Emily and his first son. And they seemed to get on quite well, but he lamented not being able to see him more. But then what do we discover? Sasha's moving abroad with Emily to America. So he's basically leaving child number 1 and child number 2 to go and start a new life thousands and thousands of miles away. And straight away I thought, what kind of dad does this? What kind of person puts continents in between themselves and their children. The least he could have done was waited until those kids were 18 or going to university or able even to travel on their own to see their father. But to move while those kids are young, to me, is unforgivable, and Emily should have seen this straight away. But unfortunately, we've got Emily going along with Sasha's narrative as she always does. Sasha doesn't get to see his kids when he wants. His ex-wives make it difficult for him. Oh, Emily, there's none so blind as those who don't want to see. Red flag number 5 concerns his ex-wives and Emily yet again. So Emily actually said at one point, when I got pregnant, it was the first time his family were able to hear his partner was pregnant and actually be happy. Emily, 1, who told you that? Was it Sasha? 2, even if that were the case, why again would you say it? 3, he married both of these other women, so I doubt that his parents disliked both of them. They weren't just random women from the gym that he managed to impregnate. These were wives, these were people that he chose, that he had a ceremony with, that people came to watch him and said wives betroth themselves for each other, for better for worse, in the eyes of God. This was the nature of both of these relationships. I very much doubt that his parents were unhappy when he said, we're having a grandson. Therefore, Sasha's lying to you. If your husband-to-be is lying to you, you've got to ask why. That is a massive red flag. Red flag number 6. Sasha claims that the reason for the breakdown of his second marriage was due to him taking up a new career. So Sasha says that when he started at the gym, his wife got less and less happy with him. She didn't like my physique, he said. I became too big for her, and it wasn't what she wanted. He said she didn't like fitness as a career, and she didn't like my new body. So I thought to myself, if you don't like, I'll go out and find someone who does like. Emily helpfully chimes in at this point, that was me! Emily, you dimwit. But Emily didn't think about this for more than 10 seconds. So his new wife apparently didn't like a muscular body. That may or may not have been true. I think what's more likely is the new wife didn't like the fact that he was taking an absolute shed load of steroids, and he probably changed to Mr. Jekyll and Hyde. 1 minute lovely, the next minute like a raging bull. She probably also wasn't happy with the fact that he was suddenly, everybody loves me, all the girls, they fancy me. But irrespective, let's face this fact, she just had her second child. How many women that have literally just given birth decide, nah, I don't want you around anymore, you're getting on my nerves, do you know what, you're too big and too buff and too good looking for me? It's highly unlikely. Even if she didn't like his new physique, I doubt she'd have pulled out at that point. I think she would have stuck with it until the baby was 3 or 4, until she could actually manage on her own without a partner. And this is extremely closely linked to red flag number 7, and that's the red flag in which, when Sasha and Emily were talking about the second wife and how she didn't like him anymore because he was too big and too buff and too good looking, they were talking to producers, and Sasha sort of went, oh yeah, around this time, around the breakdown of my second marriage, Emily and I had already started talking. And Emily snapped back, yeah, only as friends, and she had to get that in really quickly. And she gave him a look as if to say, what are you doing? You're ratting me out. And she said, yeah, we were friends for ages, and then when the relationship broke down, then that's when we got together. Yeah, right, guys. Go tell it to the judge. Red flag number 8. Just last week, we now see that Sasha's working 18 hours per day at the gym. 18 hours? I don't think even professional boxers could put in 18 hours at the gym. And we see that Sasha is following a familiar pattern, because when he was married to his second wife and he got together with Emily, after work and after training, he and Emily would talk for hours, according to Emily, and that's when they got to know each other. What is he doing all evening? How possibly can he be still training people at 10, 11, 11:30 at night? And if that weren't enough, they're also going to America with very little money. So Emily said since the baby's been born, these extra hours have kicked in. If he's been working for 18 hours at the gym for the last 6 months, Emily, don't you think he'd have loads of extra money to show for all of this overtime? But there isn't a penny. Emily's saying they're going back and they're going to have to live in the spare room at her sister's house, and she's going to have to get a job as soon as she can and try and start raising money for them to be able to get an apartment. And this should be to Emily a massive red flag. She can very clearly see history is repeating itself. Red flag number 9. Sasha hasn't really bought in to Emily's family and isn't really concerned what they think of him. So Emily actually asked him last week, how are you feeling? Are you nervous because you're meeting my parents? And Sasha said no. And she went, what, you're not bothered about meeting my sister and my mum? And he said, well, should I be? And later on he speaks to producers and says, why is Emily asking if I'm worried? She's the one who needs to be worried, not me. I don't really care. It's Emily's problem, not mine. And that should be a massive red flag to Emily, because usually if you've got a new partner, never mind the background of having with 2 other ex-wives and 2 kids, he should be on best behaviour. Most people's fiancés would want to make the very best impression on the family, and that would give them some cause for concern or some nerves, but Sasha couldn't care less, and is also very disparaging towards Emily when it was suggested that he might be a little bit worried. Who does that? Who is this person? Sasha's almost like an android. Red flag number 10. Sasha's packing his case for America for what seems like the quickest getaway of all time. So Emily noted when they were packing that he's only packing very few things. And he said, well, it's summer, right, isn't it? What do I need? A couple of shorts, 3 shirts. That's it. I shouldn't need anything else. I can buy more stuff when I get to America. 2 pairs of shorts and 3 shirts. So no jeans, no trousers, no jumpers, no coats. How long are you expecting to be there? What do you think the weather's like? Yeah, it's summer now, and in 90 days, by which time you're supposed to be married, it will be autumn, and then it will be winter. Sasha, even you know how the seasons work. So why is he packing so lightly? Because he's leaving lots of stuff back in Russia, no doubt. And he wants to be able to throw a few things in his suitcase and make a super quick getaway if the going gets bad. And even when Emily confronted him and said, why are you packing so little? It looks like you're packing for a quick getaway. He was like, no, not really. He didn't say, Emily, what are you talking about? You're my fiance. I love you. We've just had a son together and we're starting a new life in America. I'm with you for the long haul. He never ever says that. He just brushes off whatever she's saying. And red flag number 11 is very closely linked to this. When Emily was talking about her gym wear and saying, I can't get into these trousers anymore, they're so small, I've put on so much weight since having baby Dave, Sasha said, no, you must pack these. This should be your inspiration. These trousers should be your incentive. And he makes it very clear he wants Emily's body to be back as soon as possible to her pre-baby body. Let's not forget, Sasha, Emily had a cesarean, so you can't jump back into the gym. Lots of people after cesarean can't walk properly for quite a few weeks, and they have to exercise very carefully. Most guys in that position would say, you're gorgeous to me no matter what your shape is, and in good time if you want to get back into the gym, you know I'm here for you, but at the moment just concentrate on baby David. Instead, Sasha focuses on the fact that Emily's getting on my nerves. She's really stressing out about this baby, and she's turning like my ex-wives were. I've seen this all before. They were fine until they had a baby, and then suddenly they started turning mad and they started turning paranoid. I just don't understand it, and I don't deserve this treatment. He's not thinking at all about how Emily might feel if you're suggesting that she's fat, especially since she used to have a really good body. You're not thinking at all how she might have hormones still raging, which might make her more paranoid, and you're doing nothing to allay her fears whatsoever. In fact, if anything, you're making them worse by saying, I don't deserve this, and Emily, she's acting crazy. Sasha has the worst case of centration that I've ever known. He only ever sees any situation from his own point of view. Red flag number 12 is the fact that Sasha's never really talking about, I can't wait to be married to Emily, I can't wait for us to have a wonderful life together. He's always talking about him and what he wants and material things. So he was talking about moving to America, and he was saying, I just can't wait to get to America to start my new life. I want to set up my own business as a personal trainer, and I want to be a fitness model, and I want to swim in the Pacific. I want you in the Pacific as well, Sasha, swimming round and round in circles until exhaustion sets in. And he was also saying, when we get there, I'll be able to buy myself a lovely big house and a fantastic car. Everything is all about him. Nothing is about Emily, what Emily wants, or even about his kids. Everything is all about how Sasha feels and the big moves that Sasha wants to make. And let's not forget what Marsha said. Sasha only ever does anything for himself. A woman can't keep him, a child can't keep him, his family can't keep him. Sasha does what he wants to do. And then the final red flag number 13, was when they'd arrived in America. So Sasha was talking to Emily in the gym. Of course, he'd got her there in double quick time. And Emily said, Sasha loves it in the gym. That's why I thought we'd go to the gym. And as Emily was training, and she was obviously finding it difficult because of a medical situation. So Emily said to Sasha, I'm really worried because you're going to be training people at the gym and there's going to be all these pretty girls. And he said, no, you're a beautiful girl and I love you. Try again, Sasha. This time inject some passion. No. Okay. And then Emily said, I just don't want to end up as a third divorce because you've met someone better in the gym. And Sasha then said, no, that doesn't work here. I mean there. And then he realised what he'd said, and so did Emily at exactly the same time. And Emily said, what do you mean it doesn't work here? And he said, no, I mean it doesn't work like that. Well, it's worked like that for you twice, Sasha. And then he said, it's different. We are, I don't know. And then he looked around, and then he just got up and walked off. So he couldn't even say, Emily, that will never happen. I'm really devoted to you and I want to be with you for the rest of my life. You can tell that Emily is just his green card, and I've never seen a clearer indication. The only sad thing about all of this is that we now have a little baby involved in this situation. And later on to producers, he said, usually I'm not looking at girls a lot. They are looking at me. If they're anything like me, Sasha, they're looking at you in shock and dismay because you're such a despicable character. He's clearly demonstrated where his priorities are, Emily, and they don't lie with you. And later on in the same session, he demonstrates this even further. He says that he wants Emily's sister to look after the baby a couple of hours every day so he can go to the gym. Most people would think, do you know what, whilst baby David's sleeping, I'll get some of my equipment at home and I'll do a home workout so I can maintain my physique, and I understand why he might want to do that. But I can also not put pressure on someone that's already housing me, that's already feeding me, that's already paying for my electricity and my water, my life. He wants still yet more. He's such a selfish character that Sasha is one big red flag. And I wonder to myself, is Emily going to wake up and smell the coffee before she actually puts a ring on Sasha? Somehow, I don't think so. But there's one thing for sure, Emily stopped saying, we have the perfect relationship. She knows very well that they don't. She can now finally see what we all saw the first time we clapped eyes on them. So guys, let me know what you think. Do you agree with these red flags? Do you think that there's any possibility that these guys can make it? Or do you think that Emily brought this on herself? What you get at the beginning is what you get in the end. Please let me know. Don't forget as well to subscribe to my channel, and also don't forget to press the like button. If you like the video, do press it, because YouTube promote videos that have more likes and then more people get to see it, and also it shows me what kind of content you like and if you'd like more of this type of video, so please do let me know. Also follow me on Twitter at Ebird99. You've been listening to Ebird Online. Ciao for now.